So, I'm getting ready to go to the Smoky Mountains for 4 days. We're going to go 37.5 miles, climbing starting out at 950 feet and going up to about 6,614 feet on the Appalachian Trail. So I'm going to show you, take a look at all this stuff that I've got down in here. This is all the stuff that I'm going to put inside my backpack. A lot of people want to know what type of backpack I've got. I've got several. This is my Osprey Atmos. It weighs about 3 pounds with it totally empty, and it's never totally empty, so it never weighs 3 pounds. I'm hoping to get on this trip at below 30 pounds. That's the idea. So first off, I'm starting with water. Here we go. I got about 1 liter of water in my water bladder. This is made by the good people at Platypus. And I like water bladders because I can drink the water anytime I want to. I got this little hose that's got a little bite valve on the end of it right here. And I can drink the water as I'm walking. Notice I put this little pill bottle on here that slides down like that so that when I'm done drinking it kind of keeps the bite valve kind of clean. So I've got the water in there. I always put the water in there first. Now I'm not going to show you everything. The next thing I've got is this bag right here. Now this is called a waterproof bag, and what it is it's made by the Sea to Summit folks. And I've got medicines in here. I've got a pair of big woolly Murano wool socks in there. I've got some 2 hats, and I think my harmonica, extra battery, stuff like that, my first aid kit. So that's the stuff. The deal is I'm not going to use this, very often. Not until at least it gets camped. So I'm going to put it in first. I'm going to stick it all the way down here at the bottom. Okay? Now this backpack's actually got 2 compartments on it. Take a look. This one's for my tent, my sleeping bag and stuff goes down in here, and then my other stuff goes in there. So while I've got that in there right now, the next thing I think I'm going to go ahead and concentrate on is my tent. This is my tent right here. This is a Lunar Solo tent. It's probably got about 12 square foot in it. I know that seems unbelievable. It is a sub 3 pounder. It's my absolute most favorite tent in the world. It's super light. It uses my trekking poles, or my hiking poles, to support it. And I've already got my, I've got some stakes in there and things like that. So I'm going to put that right in there right now too. That's going to go right down here in the bottom. Kind of stuff that back in there. The next thing that I'm looking for here, just around here, this is pretty important. This is my sleeping pad. Okay, this is a Thermarest NeoAir, which is inflatable and has reflective technology, keeps you really nice and warm. It's a godsend to keep you off the ground. It's very expensive for what it is, and it didn't even come with the stuff sack. It goes in here too. I'll put that in the bottom. Now the other thing I got to put in this compartment is my sleeping bag. So I'm going to move this out of the way, show you my sleeping bag. On this trip, I'm kind of gambling. I'm taking my, this is an Exped Hummingbird. I call it a Hummingbird because it doesn't weigh anything. It weighs almost a pound. Okay, it is down. It's good to 37 degrees, but I tell you what, if I wear all my clothes and stuff, I've vented it down to 21. It's an excellent bag. It's going to go in a waterproof stuff sack as well, because down once it gets wet isn't worth a dang. So let me show you how far I can compress this. I can get this down to nothing, like probably half the size of a loaf of bread. I'm just going to put a pillow in there. I'll show you my pillow here in a minute. Stuffing that all in there. And this down, like I said, that's the beauty of down. It compresses really, really well, and it's really, really light. Take a look at that. Not very big at all. I got another pillow. This is a Thermarest pillow. It's not my favorite pillow in the world, but it's the only one I got. I'll put it in here too. But everything's in there. Compress it real tight. To make these waterproof bags work, what you do is you pump all the air out of them like this, see? And then I roll the top down on it, and then lock it like that. I throw this out in downpours, and it doesn't get wet. These things work great. They actually make an ultralight model of these bags, but ultralight isn't always ultra right, especially if you're kind of rough on stuff. So now all this is going to go in there. Again, you're going, oh, it is not. Well, it is too, because it's been in there many times. Put that up in there. Now that sleeping pad isn't in a dry sack because it's all plastic. See, I zip it up, push down a little bit. There we go. Now, these have got good zippers on this Osprey bag. I would love to tell you it was a heavy-duty bag. It's very comfortable, but it's not that heavy-duty. They do repair it for free, and I've had to send it in twice. I've had it for about 3 years. So let's see what else is important now. So I've got that in there. I've got my yellow bag with my woolen underwear, my socks, all the other components. I got my water already in there. Now push all this down. Got my top bag here. What are we going to put in there? Well, it's the Smoky Mountains, so I'm going to bring some rain gear. This is one of my Cabela's rain jackets. It's kind of like a Gore-Tex thing. It works real good. I've also got a Sierra Designs Gore-Tex Sierra cap, which is just a really great thing as far as the rain goes. Put that on, show you what that looks like. Okay, that's as much as you need to see of that. But it does keep the rain off my head and off my glasses too. Now, a lot of times I bring rain pants. I've got them, I'm going to show them to you, but you know what? I am really not going to bring them because they're heavy, and I'm gambling that I won't need them. Cabela's, I've actually got suspenders on these things, so these will actually stay up when I'm walking. I really like them. They probably weigh about 1.5 pounds. They're not going. Okay. Now, I hope I don't regret that. I'm already thinking I probably will. But, alright. So let's see what else we've got going on. I've got these two outer pouches right here. Got a pouch there, and a pouch on this side. I put anything I got to get in there pretty quick. One, very important, this is my blister kit. I blister, so I got tapes and blister preventers and cushioning stuff and things like that. That goes in there. Okay, next thing is toilet paper. Don't want to ever leave home without that. Not a good experience. Okay, I've got backup toilet paper. Not enough to worry about. I'm not going to put that in there at all. These are traction devices. I would use these Jack Tracks. You know what? It's not going to be that snow. I ain't taking them. I'm gambling again. So, that's one side. Looking pretty good there. This is my water purification stuff. I use Aquamira. I can do like 40-volt quarts with this. Brand new. Never had a problem with it. Really like it. Chlorine dioxide. So I'm zipping that up. Let's take a look and see what else I've got. I'm bringing an extra water bladder. Now this is another thing by Platypus. I think they call it the Canteen. It'll hold like 2.5 liters. It's not going to hold sterilized water. It's just for carrying water from, you know, wherever the water source is to your campsite. I'm going to stick that on the other side. Okay? Great. And let's see what other things we need to put in there. Got some other stuff going on. That's more of that. Ah! Here's my headlamp. See? Yeah. Need that in the dark. I got fresh batteries in it. That's it's a Pika, or a Petzl. It's a Petzl Pika, something like that. Obviously, I don't care that much about the brand names. That's going down inside this pouch too. I'm gonna zip that up. I probably will open that up later. Now, this one of the things I like about this backpack. It's got what's called a shovel pocket. Which evidently you're supposed to carry a shovel in there. I'm not taking a shovel. Some people do. I'm taking some work gloves. That's for breaking wood, and pulling up briars, and things like that. Good. I like my work gloves. I'm taking a heat sheet, which that's a, you know, space blanket type thing. It serves as my ground cloth, and of course, if I have an emergency or if it's really, really rainy, I'll wrap it around my body like a toga and wear it as pants. Good thing. I like that. That only cost $3. One of the better things I've ever bought. This is my pack cover. Bright orange. It looks kind of stupid, but if I in an emergency, you know, I can really wave it. You can see this a long way. It's, you know, it doesn't keep my pack super dry, but it just makes me feel better about it, and it doesn't weigh that much. So I'm putting that in there. All right. So, what weighs the most? This is just my sleeping bag. That ain't going with me. Okay. This, I won't pack this, but I am taking it. This is my fleece. I've got a pair of pants also, you know, the hiking pants that I wear, and a special shirt, so my fleece is something, but I won't have to pack that because that'll probably be on it. If not, it'll go in the shovel pocket or in that other pocket with the rain gear. This is something else. Take a look. But you can't tell what that is. That's a down jacket that's seen a lot of better days. It's got plenty of places on it that have, like I said, ripped on it. It's real lightweight. I like it. I'm going to put it in a waterproof sack too. This is what I'll wear as soon as I will not hike in this, camping and sleeping. It'll bump that rating of my sleeping bag up quite a bit. Probably need a new one. I bought this one from Cabela's for Yeah, about $45. Some people pay $170 for theirs, and then they're scared to death of ripping them up. Notice again, that thing's almost to nothing. Now, what I can show you is if I was really wanting us to worry about it, I would go ahead and put my fleece in there too. If it's warm, I wouldn't wear it, I'd put it in this. But I'm not going to. So, let's see what else we got. We got the most heaviest components. So let's go over a checklist. I got my tin in there, I got my soup pad in there, I got my rain gear in there, I've got my water purification kit, my headlamp, and I've got my toilet paper in there, I've got my ground sheet in there, I've got my gloves in there, I've got all my medicines and anything like that, first aid kit, stuff like that in there. So this is the heaviest stuff altogether. This is all my food. Yeah, some people say, now that's not just food in there. I have my cook pouch in there. I do pouch cooking, which is just basically a little pouch made from a material called Reflectix, which is like a bubble wrap insulation with aluminum foil on it. And I put basically baggies down inside there, and then I put my dehydrated food in there, and I put hot water on it, leave it in there and eat it. Inside I got hand cleaner and my toothbrushes, and here's the only thing I eat with this is a nice plastic spoon. I shouldn't call that plastic, it's probably polycarbonate, which is really, really strong stuff. If that gets dirty, I just throw it away. Actually, I've got a video on my website on how to make those, and I do. Inside also my food bag is, I thought about taking alcohol stove on this trip. I'm not going to. I'm going to take my pocket rocket, which is just a little stove. So I've got that inside here and a little fuel canister to go with it. Hopefully that's enough. You know, most of the time at night I use the fire to heat my stuff up because I have some stuff that's easy. Also the lids of my pots in there. So, this is all my cooking gear. I've got a whole bunch of stuff in here, mostly Mountain House beef stroganoff and chicken stews. I've got, oh my gosh, I've got Powerade drink mixes. I've got Zone bars. I've got Power Gels. I've got Pringles. I've got mashed potatoes. I have, well, there's just too much to notice. What you see I do is I put all the meals in these little pouches. Like this is a lunch right here, so I've got a sweet and salty bar, some yogurt-covered fruit chews, a Crystal Light orange drink mix, and looks like beef stroganoff. So that's my lunch. I try to get all my lunches hot when I'm out there in the mountains because I don't want to carry any stuff that, you know, the hot stuff is usually dehydrated, so it's a lot lighter. I'm guessing I have close to 7 pounds of food, maybe 6.5. That's probably more than I should have. I know most people go with less, but I'll tell you what, I don't like going out there without enough food. I'd rather carry more food than I need than have not enough food, because the trip goes really bad if you don't have any food real quick. And that stuff about living on the land is, you know, it's just what it is, it's stuff. If I went out there and had to live on the land, I'd been dead a long time ago. So, let's see where we're at here. I got that, so here is my down jacket. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and roll that up. I've got everything else that, you know, I got extra socks to sleep in, and I always, you know, I got those dry woolen underwear, which I'll only wear to sleep in. You know, if I have to put wet clothes on in the morning, that's what I'll do. That's going in next. I always put my food on top, because guess what? That's what I want to get to quickest. And here it goes. You know, oh my gosh, man, that's a lot of food. It is. Now, honestly, again, it's a lot of food. It's easily a third, maybe more than that, of my total weight. But it will go in here. That's already looking a little, always a bad sign. I have to open up my compression straps. Some other things that I've got in here is I'm taking sunscreen. I've got a compass right here. There's my compass. Of course, I'll have a map, and I'll have sunglasses. So those things are all tied on there, so I can't ever lose them. Or at least not lose the whole. Now, let's talk about the other things. This is one of the water bottles I'll use to mix my water with. Just a Powerade bottle. Keep that in there. Here is probably the second most important piece of gear in the whole place. That's my pee bottle. It's a lot better to be able, I just roll over and use this at night rather than get out of the tent in a warm sleeping bag. Okay, so that's going in there. I've got this insulated mug. Again, some people just use foam mugs. More power to them. I really don't prefer them that way. And finally, my little boiler, which is I got the lid. It's my little coffee pot. I can stick that in a fire if I have to. And that's great because sometimes I do. That saves me fuel. So, here we go. Put all that in there. Oh my gosh, got it full. Yeah, it's full. Push it down a little bit. I've also got a harmonic in there. And I'll be taking, my camera stuff, which doesn't weigh very much. I weigh a really light little camera. Put that on there. Okay, notice it didn't take very long. I always like to put the flaps over those zippers just in case it rains. Come on back up. Here's the front of it. The other thing I've got that I probably should point out is I've got some Crocs. These are Endeavors. They don't have holes in them, so I can walk around the snow. It's real nice to be able to put your feet in something different besides your boots at the end of the day. And trust me, I really appreciate being able to do that. Some people don't wear those. It's another pound or so. I'm not going to say it's necessary, but for me it is. For me it is. Okay, pull this up here. Up that there. And it's that one over here. Take a look. Okay. Now I can work my compression strap miracles here. I could put those bottles. By the way, I have bottle pouches out here, and I will use those for the bottles. I'm trying to go for the streamlined look, It's always great sexy looking on the trail. There we go. Pull that compression strap. I also have internal compression straps on that. These bottle pockets don't work as good on this as you think they should. Let's see. Pull that down. Okay. Got something different here going on. Okay, pull that up. There's a lot of adjustments on this bag. The idea is that I don't feel anything. This has a trampoline back. See the back here? Air flows in between here so it doesn't actually touch my back. Pretty cool. Especially for summer camping. That's got some sunglasses in there. The last thing I want to do here is point out that I got these little pouches here for snacks. I got power gels and hammer gels, and I've got zone bars in there so I can use them as I'm walking. Last thing I want to do is another thing some people would call superfluous, but I like, is I got Thermarest Z-Rest. And I put this on here because when I stop, I can throw it right down and have a place to sit that's not in the mud or the snow or anything like that, and it's real comfortable and I can take a nap. Also, I use it on top of my other Thermarest for additional insulation, and it works great. This thing's got 1,000 years. Fan the fire, you can float on them. If you want to use a swim toy, there's just a lot of things you can do with those things. They're all $30. So there we go. Probably ought to put that in there. My water, I always put that where I can get to it because I'm going to be treating water often. Alright, so I got everything in there. And it probably weighs, remember the water's in there, I'll bet it weighs probably about 28 pounds. Well, I'm going to take a look and weigh. Alright, see you later, bye.